Hello everyone, and welcome to Seaview Quantum Network. I'm your presenter Daniel, and I'm here with producer Claudia Pareco. Our opening song features Sunset Serenade by Cyclone. Albums and singles are available in all music stores and platforms. A moment of your time is one of the most extraordinary gifts we could ever be given. Each week, we create a place for you to rest your heart by providing the platform for peaceable connection to the most gifted lightworkers, intuitives, alternative healers who will surprise you with something different, something outside of what's expected, innovative and unique. Our shows are held on Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern U.S. time and 9 a.m. Pacific time. At any moment to participate on our shows, please call 805-830-8344 and press 1 to talk with the host. Take my call. At any moment before or during the show, you can opt for Take My Call and jump the long line of callers. We are now following the pay what you can business model. You pay what you feel our services are worth to you. You can send a payment using paypal.me/PURECO and add the amount that you want. To request a show, please write to Claudia Pareco at cview1111@gmail.com or visit our website, cview1111.net. Now, close your eyes and get in touch with the present, the only reality. Feel your body, feel your breath, and let it drift back to the present moment.
To Seeking Divinity. Today's show, The Year of the Dragon and readings with Sati. And this is a magical edition of Seeking Divinity with the incredible Sati Chappell. Today, her intuitive gifts take center stage as she navigates the cosmic energies of the Wood Dragon year, her year. Get ready for enchanting insight and celestial revelation. Let's dive into the mystical realm together. Don't miss this opportunity to tap into the mystical energies, gain insights, and experience the magic of Seeking Divinity. Remember, every month, the first Friday of every month, you can tune in, call in. You can replay the episode, you can enter the chat room, you can send your questions through Facebook, private message me, and there are many ways to participate and to be part of the show, but mostly, more of the advantage of today's show is that you can feel Sati's energy and her gifts, and you can then contact her at her website, seekingdivinity.com, where you can learn about other of her services, upcoming shows, and how you can continue your journey with her beyond the earthwaves. But now let's bring Sati to today's show so we can talk about the Year of the Dragon. We are just starting that year because this is in Chinese calendar, which is different to ours, but Sati knows a little bit more than myself, so let's let her explain the topic and why is it important for you that are listening today. Hey, Sati. Sati, can you hear me? Sati, can you hear me?
Oh my goodness. I was just yapping away, but my phone was on mute. Hello, everybody. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to give full disclosure here. I have a cold that my husband so kindly gave me, and I'm a little bit funky today. I'm fine to do the show, but I'm just saying I sound a little funky, and my nose is running like crazy. Hopefully I will not sneeze or whatnot during the show, but yeah, evidently that includes not knowing I'm on mute. How are you, Miss Claudia? Hello? Claudia?
So now it's me that it's not muted. So I'm doing well, thank you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Very happy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the mute and unmute. People, please check your phones. And so I'm doing very well, and I'm so interested in today's show and to knowing more about my husband is a wood dragon, and he is boasting in happiness and joy, and he's like, oh, this is my year, and everything is going to be fabulous because I'm a wood dragon. And I'm like, get out of here. So what does that even mean?
Well, I love that you have two wood dragons around you. That's actually pretty auspicious. Look at you go, girl. Nice.
Get out of here. What does that really mean?
Well, think about all of the dragons you've ever heard of throughout time. I mean, we're all really, really good at bringing in the cash and holding on to it. Sometimes we can be a little bit miserly with it because, we like laying on those coins, and they're nice and cool. But dragons are very interesting mythological creatures that I have been drawn to my whole life. So, yeah, I'm happy to talk about this subject today. It's near and dear to my heart.
So they are
with that, I'll
years.
probably... Yay. I was like, uh-oh, did we go on mute again? It's possible. Today, anything is possible. But, I'm really excited to talk about it. So I'll just kind of like hop in on that, and then we'll take some callers and, see how things go. So hello, everybody. This is the 2nd of February, and the Chinese calendar changes on February 10th. Now, this is not the same every year. Every year, the Chinese calendar changes somewhere between mid-January and mid-February, or late January, I should say, and mid-February. And it does so because the Chinese calendar is run on the new moon, the lunar cycle. So they want the second lunar, or the second new moon of the year, the new year, and that's when they know that their new year is going to begin. So this year, the Chinese New Year starts on February 10th, or on the new moon in Aquarius, which is a very liberating energy, and not just for one person, but Aquarius is a liberating energy for like the whole, like everybody that's out there. And it's also a yin wood dragon year, and we're going to talk about that because, most of the time when you would go into the Chinese restaurants, you would see, like back in the day, I don't even know if they do that anymore. I guess they do, but you would see the little Chinese calendar, and it would have all the different animals and the year. So you would look up what year you were born, and then it would tell you what you are. But it would tell you like you're an ox or a rat or something else like that, right? They don't go into a lot of detail as to whether it's a yin or a yang, or if it's a wood or earth. So those kind of things are also important to know. And this year we have a yin wood dragon year. While we had a dragon year in 2012, and again back in 2000, because they would come up every 12 years. If you're a rat, it comes up every 12 years, just the same. Those years weren't wood dragon years. As each time the year for dragon or any other animal comes around, it arrives with a different element. So, for example, in 2012, it was a water dragon. And in the year 2000, it was a metal dragon year. Chinese astrology is comprised of the 12 Chinese animal symbols that we've all seen in the restaurants, times the 5 elements. The elements are wood, metal, water, fire, and earth. One can also learn if it's a yin or a yang year also, although I'm only really going to speak on that briefly. So suffice it to say that yin is feminine, soft, gentle, flexible, and yielding, while yang is masculine, active, fiery, hard, and dominating. I've put these two stark contrasts into stark contrast for ease of explanation, but they're really much more than what I've listed here. These two dualities are part of the original 12 animals listed on the calendar. For example, a dragon by nature is yang. It's big, it's fiery, and it's unyielding. Whereas a snake, which is the animal that will be under next year, is yin, mysterious, thoughtful, and graceful. So this is a yin wood dragon year. But what does that mean, and why should you care? For people like me, yes, I am a wood dragon, like Claudia said, as is Courtney Cox, Sandra Bullock, Russell Crowe, Keanu Reeves, and evidently Claudia's husband too. And these are just to name a few. This year completes a full 60-year cycle that's important to understand for many reasons. If you're around my age or are a dragon like me, you'll be completing, finalizing, or bringing full circle all the energy you were born with and entrusted to carry this lifetime. Odds are high that you won't live to be 120 years of age or to the year 2084, so you won't get to see a wood dragon year again. You won't get to complete this cycle a second time around. You all know that I love to look at both the small and the large cycles of things, because often the large or larger cycles help us to understand what we should be doing overall in the big picture of life. Because of my wood dragon return, which is what I'm going to call it, second time I get to live in a wood dragon year in the entirety of my life, so I'm calling it a wood dragon return year. It's a good time to talk about these larger placements on the Chinese Wheel of Time, since it's the only other large time cycle that we have to work with globally in the current era, in addition to like my other two favorites, which are, of course, the astrological, Western astrological, and the East Indian Yuga cycles, which I have mentioned often in my shows. So let's look at the significance of this cyclical pattern. First off, do you know where you fall in the Chinese calendar? Are you an ox, a rabbit, a goat, or a dog? Monkeys, roosters, and pigs, for example, will have lots of good luck this year. So yeah, it might be good for you to know what animal you are. Simply Google your birth year to find out, then read what it says about what type of person you are according to the Chinese method of divination. While you're looking at that, consider Googling which element your birth animal falls into too, because that will show you exactly where you're at within this bigger 60-year cycle. Of course, if you're 30 years of age right now, you know that you're halfway through the grand cycle, so you can just simply do mathematics too. But that won't tell you which animal or which element you are. Have fun looking it up. It really can be interesting to see how well these symbols describe you, especially when you combine them with your astrological sun sign, which I'll speak more about in just a moment. So if you're like me, our example for today, my dragon return coincides with astrology's Saturn's second return, which makes both events even more important. So which two events am I referring to here? The fact that I'm in what I'm calling my dragon return and my Saturn second return. Because Saturn goes around the zodiac like every 29 years. And for some of us, it's a little longer, and for some of us, it's a little shorter. It depends on the house placement and how big your houses are. Not everybody's houses are the same size. And sometimes a planet will go through a specific sign slower than another sign. So all of that comes into play. So for example, most people go through their first Saturn return when they're somewhere between 28 and 32 years of age. And then they go through their second one around my age, somewhere between 59 and I think it is 63 or 62. Anyway, it does make both of these events important, especially for me this year, because I'm having both returns, the Saturn and the Dragon. The first Saturn return usually is pretty rough and is filled with huge changes like big breakups, power trips, or challenges to what you thought you really wanted out of life. And things then come out of the blue just when you think everything is finally settling down to shake all of that up. It can be a huge wake-up call. It's a bit smoother for those of us in our second Saturn return. Yes, sometimes there are those midlife crises and deep wondering as to whether I'm living up to my full potential or if somebody else is. But often one also gets to do more of the things they love, which they are completely clear on now. And they can finally live more for themselves versus trying so much to please others. Saturn returns want you to know yourself really, really well and to choose things more wisely in accordance with who you are and where you're trying to go in life. So having my second Saturn return in the same year as my Dragon return, which they don't always fall that way in the same year, is telling me a few things that are important. It's telling me that this is a big year, that I have to really pay attention to what I do this year. It's telling me to pursue what I love doing the most, as long as it's totally aligned with who I am and what my potential is. And let me tell you, I intend to do exactly that this year. Interestingly, while I knew that 2024 was going to be a dragon year, I hadn't yet looked at which type of dragon it was going to be back in November of 2023. You see, I'm also a watercolor and acrylics painter. You can see my artwork on my website, seekingdivinity.com. So in November, when I was doing a simple circular abstract painting, I was completely thrilled to see a dragon's face peeking out of the first couple of swirls I had made. It was then that I looked to see which dragon year it was going to be in 24 and found out that it was my year, a wood dragon's year. Since November, I finished his face and body, even though I haven't yet finished the rest of the painting. He'll be up for display, though, on my website somewhere from mid to end of February. So remember to check back to the website at that point in time so you can see him. I think he's really cute. Anyway, my connection to dragons goes way back to my childhood. Like many kids today with dinosaur interests, I loved dragons. Not so much dinosaurs, not so much unicorns, definitely dragons, especially after having read The Hobbit somewhere around age 12. So how fun for me was it to discover when I got to high school that I was in the home of the dragons, that the dragon was my high school mascot, or that my first high school puppy love drove a car with an intricate Chinese dragon etched in the back window, or how in my early 20s I finally found out that I was born in the year of the dragon, thus actually was a dragon. Like, that was also cool. In my reality, these seemingly random and coincidental things actively point out my connection to a specific energy. They don't, in other words, happen for no reason. In this case, I'm connected to a dragon, and over time I've learned to piece such things together to form an accurate image of both the overall and the more intricate natures of my life, and you can too. So I think at this point, Miss Claudia, I'm going to take my first caller and then come back to the subject. But I have to tell you guys, dragons are it for me, and I'm just so thrilled. It's like so funny that I would find them so fascinating and then find out that, you know, from a Chinese astrological standpoint, that's what I am, considering, you know, I was born in America. So I think that's interesting. But anyway, yeah, I'll take my first caller, Claudia, if we're ready to go for that.
Yes, this brings Suzanne from Florida.
Yes, hi, my name is Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne.
I just have a question. I'm in job hunting, and do you see anything coming in soon? I'm being positive.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, give me just a half a second here, my dear. Well, okay. So you really have been looking, and good for you. I love that. You know, like it looks to me like energetically you have been what they used to say, pounding the pavement. But, you know, of course, these days it's all online. But the point is you've really been looking. And I know it's been a little challenging for you. And I know that you feel like you've kind of missed out on a couple of opportunities. But I do see a new job coming for you. So, like, I would say don't worry too much about it. I mean, I know that's easier to say than to do. But you've got like, it's like right here. You've got like 4 more weeks. I know that sounds rough, but think of it this way. When you get to the right company and you go through all of the hiring process and then they get you on board, you get your ID and blah, 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 blah. I mean, 4 weeks, that's about like, that means that you're going to be getting something here really, really soon because I see you working in that period of time, meaning it's like 4 weeks or so from now, maybe 5 at the outside. So, yay, good for you.
Yes, and I had a job until the past Friday, but I just couldn't take it. I moved from New York to Florida, lived in third place, lived with my aunt, my mother, now my own place, and then I had to get 2 jobs, and then I moved with everything I owned in my car. It's been exhausting, and I just didn't like the job at all, so now it's in God's hands to get something that I would like better. I don't, you know, it could be anywhere from 5 to 6 hours a day because, you know, I have to work till forever, but, you know, I applied to a bus company, a school bus company, being a monitor. I don't know if you see that.
Well, I do believe that that's the one that you'll get. And like I said, it is imminent. It's right around the corner. You'll be hearing about it probably sometime in the next week or 2, and then going through the actual hiring process.
Yeah, they mentioned that they'll probably call next week to interview. It's a little bit far away. It's like 35 minutes. But I'm trying to save once I get it so I can take the summer off because I'm 63 and I've been working since my 20s. Didn't even get to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm burnt.
I bet you are. I bet you are. Well, good news was given to you, so yay. I hope that all of that does come true for you and comes through for you, and you're welcome to call back and let us know. Hello?
Thank you, Suzanne, for calling. So do you want to take another call, or do you want to continue with the interesting dragon?
No, I'll take another.
Okay, so now we're going to take Mary. She's Take My Call user, so she gets 2 questions. Okay, Mary?
Hey, Sati, it's so wonderful to be connected with you again.
Hello, Miss Mary.
Well, I don't know where to start. My life right now is just totally discombobulated. I live up in the Asheville area, and my mom lives about an hour and 15 minutes away. And my mom passed away about 10 days ago, and I'm out of town.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I'm out of town at her home trying to clean her home out, and we're having her funeral tomorrow. But I got health issues, which you helped me with on the last time we talked. But I'm feeling I'm in an intense state of grief right now, of course, and discombobulation. But as I'm looking ahead, I'm feeling some freedom coming up in my life. But I desperately want to move. I want to stay in the area I live in, but I desperately want to move. And I want to see what you see for that, and also what's going to be happening next with Joe and me, with my guy Joe. That, this has been going on now for 40 years with him, and except for the, time that we were apart, which has been the last, I guess, 10, 11, 12 years. But anyway, we're starting to be friends again. But I'd like for you to tune in on that and just see if you can give me some direction with what's going to be happening with me.
Okay, Mary. Again, I'm sorry to hear of the passing of your mother. And yes, between last summer and that death and now this one, I am quite sure that you are probably in the midst of a great deal of grief. So one way or the other, please be kind to yourself during this time and try to give yourself a whole lot of compassion, a whole lot of leeway. If you get things wrong or you do things incorrectly, don't be surprised, because when we are in those deep cycles of grief, oftentimes, you're right, we just become completely discombobulated. So, just kind of try to be kind. But let me look at things for you, okay? I have a couple of things to talk about here. I can see that you're really having a hard time making decisions on exactly what you want and exactly where you want to go and exactly how to get there. And I want to say, I think personally, and this is me speaking, not the guides or anything like that. I think personally it is due to grief. When I see you energetically, it looks to me like you're staring off into space. Now, that doesn't mean that you are spending a lot of time doing that. It's showing me, it's your guides showing me that you're kind of spending time a bit disassociated from both yourself and all of this turmoil that's going on around you. And that's completely understandable under the circumstances. 2 big deaths in 6 months, that's a lot. It's really a lot, honey. So don't be too hard on yourself, but maybe to really focus on one thing every day. I would like today to manifest being able to find the correct place for me to live. Let's say you do that on Monday, and that day, that's what you put your attention to. On Tuesday, I really would like to spend more time with Joe and have him get to know me as the real me. Let's say that's Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I really would like to put my mother's things in order and be able to finish working with her home and get that on the market and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to give you an idea, because what's happening is you have all of these things that you have to take care of, but you're taking care of them kind of helter-skelter throughout the day. You start this, and then you go to that, and then you go to the other thing, and it's not allowing you to really focus and to really put your energy into what you're trying to do. And so you're going to find things kind of coming out a little helter-skelter also. So your guides are trying to give me ways that you can bring everything back into focus and yet allow yourself to do your process. Because obviously, for an entire day, you're not going to be sitting there saying, I want to manifest my new place where I'm going to live. You're going to maybe look at that for a while. Maybe you go literally sit on the porch and stare out the window for a little while. Maybe you'll do a little art. Maybe you'll do a little gardening. But in the back of your mind, you're still processing, working on getting a place that you really want to live on a more permanent level, be that a house or an apartment or whatever it is. So I'm trying to show you how you can kind of compartmentalize these things that really need to be focused on, and yet give yourself grace during the day, give yourself time during the day to process, and yet also bring yourself into a place of greater focus, because your energy is like really all over the place and you're having a hard time deciding. That's how I see it anyway. So now, when I look at things, it looks to me like about 10 weeks from now, you will find the place that you would like to live. Like, it's one of those things that you're kind of going to just come across. I am not discouraging you from looking in the ad sections at all or working with a realtor. I'm just saying that, I feel like it's a place that you kind of come across unexpectedly, and you're like, woohoo, that's exactly what I'm looking for, and oh my God, that's perfect. And so, yay, then you kind of start moving in that direction. As far as Joe goes, Joe is something, I've spoken about him before. He's a slow mover. I decided, in order to answer your question today about Joe specifically, that I would pull a card, and I pulled the Hanged Man. Now, if you don't know anything about the tarot cards, you can still understand that the Hanged Man doesn't sound like somebody who is moving anywhere very quickly. How can they? They're hung. They're hung up by their head, or in some tarot decks by their foot. Either way. Not going anywhere soon. They're tied to wherever they are. And that means that, again, this is kind of a process with Joe, wherein you are needing to just allow things to move at the pace they're going to move at, regardless of what you might want in that case. So I know I've talked to you many times about him. I do feel like he's very interested in you, but I do also see by this card that his energy is going to continue to stay in this slow, if not snail's pace movement. But, they always say the turtle might be slower, but slow and steady wins the race. So I would say, pardon the expression, but hang in there, honey, because, things will continue to blossom with him if you allow it time and you quit putting pressure on yourself and on the universe to make this happen. Instead, just allow it. Let it go. Deal with all these other things that you have to deal with. Give yourself a day to work with the Joe stuff and then move on. Does that help, honey?
Yes, that helps very, very much. I thank you so very much. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, and good luck with everything. Pay very close attention to your mom's finances, okay? Really look over all of that with a fine-tooth comb. Last thing from your guides, okay? All right, honey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sati.
So, Miss Claudia? Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying, honey?
No, I say thank you.
Oh. I love how at first we were both on mute. Now we're both talking over each other.
Yay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's how it goes sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about, and then we'll take another caller. How does that sound?
Fantastic.
Okay, good. I think it's kind of sad that dragons are largely misunderstood and maligned creatures, although I think Game of Thrones kind of helps with that a bit. They're huge and they're fearsome, yes, but they can also be keenly helpful. They can protect and sustain things very well. Or like Smaug, the dragon in The Hobbit, they can be greedy, possessive, and terribly destructive. They can be educated and wise like Merlin's owl, looking after things for really long periods of time while holding the space for new growth. Or they can be more like the dinosaurs of old, just kind of like giant killing machines and totally animalistic. Sounds kind of like humans, doesn't it? Anyway, I know that these are fictional creatures, but I treat them as if they weren't when describing them. As a Libra, from the Western astrology standpoint, I'm always seeking to find and create balance in myself, in my body, and in the world around me. This is one of my larger purposes for being on this planet this lifetime. Like, I am not kidding about that. I have to tread such a fine balance all of the time, and sometimes it's just exhausting. So the dragon here offers me visions or glimpses of the extremes, clearly showing the two paths that are always before me, as I, the Libra, instead seek to find the sacred soul balance that is mine and make that my true life's path. And it's like this for everyone. Your sun sign helps you to see what you are, who you are, as well as what you need to work on for this specific lifetime. And when you add in your Chinese animal, it can often provide very clear insight into more of who you are and what you need to be doing while you're here on Earth. Normally, I don't go into much depth about astrology or the Chinese New Year symbols, but this year is so special for me, which I think is kind of in some ways lucky for you, because I'm going to get to do a little bit more of that today. So 2024 is the year of the Yin wood dragon. Wood represents renewal, an entire forest ecosystem, meaning being part of a whole versus an individual. Ancient trees, the new sprout. It's about seeds, growth, vitality, energy and drive, ripeness, nurturing, creativity, introspection, being flexible yet strong, monetary stability, and sustainability in general, resilience, healing, building bridges, music, transformation, and awakening. All of these are very potent symbols and interpretations for the wood element. It's also a yin dragon year. So here, a wood dragon is a little bit out of his natural element. His raw, robust power somehow must be calmed down, focused, converted into usable energy that doesn't just blow things up or make matters worse. And this is important, really important for all of you listening today to keep in the back of your mind as we go through 2024. Try not to escalate things. Because of dragon's natural fire, they're already escalated enough and usually ready to combust, especially this year in the United States, where it's also a contentious election year. Instead, try to keep things cool and calm, flowing, because in a yin water year, we can use that energy to help balance things out. Think about it like this. Wood that sits in water for a long period of time carries a special energy. It becomes driftwood. It's no longer just one element. It is the marriage of two elements. Another way to look at it is this yin quality, which is very watery, with the fire of the dragon, which produces steam. So it could be also a very, very fun year on a love level and romantically. Very steamy. It's all up to you and how you use the energy that's naturally available to you this year through the Chinese dragon and the wood dragon in particular, as to whether you come out of this year going, wow, that was like the most productive year and best year. I made great finances I've ever had, or you come out of it going, holy crap, I just like totally derailed and blew up my entire life, right? It's also a good time for new beginnings, because that's what ultimately the dragon brings. New beginnings, prosperity, and sustained effort. Because whatever is started this year is going to last for a good long while. So you want it to be wonderful, right? And while things will have their own momentum, because that's also part of dragon energy, some things will still require keen, sustaining ability. Often what is started in a dragon year can seem small at first, but then grow in size and importance later. So use that great reasoning power of the wizened dragon to ensure that you all create worth that is worthy of being sustained this year. Be innovative and take risks, although make sure they're calculated risks to bring in the yield that you really want. It's a good year to buy a home or get a loan or to improve your finances, because dragons are great at multiplying money earned or invested, especially for you metal dragons out there, which the metal dragons are going to have been born somewhere around the year 2000. As long as the money is invested wisely, it's going to bring back great return. So maybe consult with a financial planner or other people like that who can help you increase the money you already have and use it wisely. And be sure to be honest in all monetary dealings this year, or that wily dragon will surely eat you. With this in mind, it would be auspicious to find love and start a family this year too, because who you attract this year will be more loyal than at any other point in time, because dragons are very loyal people. Also make sure to sprint versus run long distances this year. For while a dragon is good at sustaining for the long haul, they always expend energy in short spurts. So don't overdo anything this year or you'll burn out way too quickly. And don't be too impulsive either. Like me, plan to maintain good balance. So I'm going to take another call and then finish things up. Do we have somebody out there waiting, Miss Claudia?
Yep, we're going to go with Valerie in California. And then when we come back, we're going to take Jessica in Pennsylvania. Valerie?
Okie dokie.
Hi.
Hey, how are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Is it Valerie with a V or Mallory with an M?
V.
Okay.
Valerie.
What
yeah.
can I do for you today?
Yeah, I want to increase my finances. So are you seeing a job coming in, or how do you see that panning out?
Okay. Another call about finances today in a dragon year. Imagine that. You know, I think that this is going to be a very successful year for you financially. Now, I'm not saying that just because it's a dragon year, and I just got done saying that financially, dragon years are always the best year, and you can make tons of extra money in a dragon year. It's not because of that. I see that you have already put into place things that will help you to create good monetary yield this year. I see a lot of success around you. I see it all coming in and starting to be part of your main energy. I know that you have struggled with this for quite a while. So, you know, whatever it is that you've been doing the last couple of years is going to help you now, is going to come to fruition now this year. And you'll find that you'll be able to, you know, get jobs easier. You'll be able to save money easier. You'll be able to make more money more easily. You'll be able to make extra money if you wish to do that. If you, again, invest your money, you'll find that you'll get a good yield, a good return. So there's all this good juju, this good energy that's surrounding you right now that is the product of the last definitely 3 or 4 years. And I'm going to say that you're going to have a stellar year this year. So enjoy it. But remember, one of the things that wood dragons are really good at doing is saving money. So I know you sometimes have the tendency to overspend, so I'm being told that it would be wise to advise you to be more like dragon and to just, you know, scurry that money away in a safe place and then, you know, let it grow on its own so that it's not traded for things that you don't really need, quite frankly. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds good because I need I would like to do some improvements in my home, so that would be perfect.
Wonderful. Well, see, there also, you know, if you're wanting to make house improvements this year, that's the year to do it. Just be mindful, again, that you don't overspend, that you don't say to yourself, oh, I would love to have a $100,000 kitchen when you're never going to make that back. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
Whatever it is that you plan to do for your home improvements, which are great, I think that's really a good thing for you to do this year. I see the energy for that. Make sure that you choose wisely what changes you're going to make, always thinking of how much of a return it will bring to you later on. Okay?
Right. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Who else do we have, Miss Claudia?
Okay, so we have in the chat room a quick question from Nuri, your friend from Mexico, she says, Sati, at this moment, I'm finishing a relationship. I finished with a work, and I have changed the expectations that I have for myself. Everything is different, and I feel myself different. Can you tell me coming for me this year?
Wonderful, Nuri. I'm so happy to hear that. Good heavens, you have been working so hard. That's really great to hear. All right, let me look. So, Nuri, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot more alone time this year, and that's kind of good. It's not always bad to have alone time. It's a good time to really discover more of what you're actually hoping to receive and create for yourself over the next couple of years. You've spent a lot of time working for others, like your father, for example, and handling things there, trying to please the ex that you're leaving. And, you know, this year is kind of like the year for you to sit down and to really be good to self. And being good to self oftentimes means just simply paying attention to self. Dragons love attention. Trust me, I know this one is true. Dragons love attention. So giving yourself good attention this year, in the case of asking yourself, well, what do I think of this? What do I want for that? What am I really going after? I think I'm going after this, but what am I really going after? And that's kind of what's at like behind the scenes of this alone time that you're going to have. Now, is your whole year going to be spent in alone time? No. But you're going to find that when you do reemerge out of this time being alone, you're going to be like so fired up and so ready to go that it's going to be hard to hold you back. The other thing I want to say is that wood dragons need wood dragons around them, meaning they want to be with like-minded people, people that are like them at heart, people that naturally and easily understand them and accept them, so they don't have to work too hard, quite honestly. So they don't have to work so hard at, relationships. That's what you really want to call for with any new relationship that you are looking for in the future. You want to call for someone who's easy to get along with, who's kind and compassionate, and yet very wise and very stable. All of those elements are elements that you would find in a forest. So that's where I'm using this wood dragon information to help you out in particular this year. All right, my dear, you've got a lot of good things that are coming right around the corner. Hang in there, okay? Do we have anybody else waiting right now, Miss?
Yes.
Do we have anybody else waiting, Miss Claudia?
We have Jessica from Pennsylvania. I'm putting her through, and then we're getting another caller, 203.
Hi. I was wondering if you could
Jessica.
take a look at February. I've done a lot of work to improve my career, finances, living situation, and I am still, we'll just leave it open. What guidance do you have for February?
Watch your money. So you got a lot of pots on the stove, but you need to really watch your money in February. The reason I feel like this is because even though you are expecting dividends and you're expecting things to come in, there's delays. There's also a couple of other problems. There might be a problem with a water heater, and that could be either inside your house or inside your car, which if it's inside your car, it wouldn't be a water heater, it would be a radiator. You understand they're the same energy. So, that kind of a big expense to fix either one of them. And you're asking about February specifically, so it's like some of these things you're going to have coming out of the blue that are going to be like not necessarily the happiest of surprises that will, cause you to spend money where you might not want to. So don't do anything extravagant in February. Keep it very low key. Don't do a whole lot of eating out or buying of things, that kind of thing, so that when you come to the end of February, you're like, whew, okay, I'm done with that, and now I can move on. When you move on, like coming into spring, things get much better for you, monetarily much better for you, but you have to keep the money well in hand in February, because if you don't, then things are going to kind of blow up. And I would rather see you have things work out smoothly and have you come out on the other end of February going, whew, glad I listened to that advice, and then have the rewards come in, because that's exactly what I'm seeing throughout spring. So that's March, April, and May.
Yeah, well, none of the finances have come in yet. So there's really, I've worked so hard, and I'm just kind of sitting here like exhausted. I can't do it anymore.
I'm sure. I understand. I really do understand. And, I would say that you need to follow through in February. So you're going to need to find your reserves and continue as you are in February, because the payoff is coming in March, April, and May. What I'm seeing.
But hopefully it goes fast as this year has gone, and you get to March and April sooner. So we have one more. Do you have time for one more, Pat from Connecticut?
Sure.
Okay, so let's bring Pat from Connecticut. Oh.
Hey, Happy New Year. March, April, May. Is this
Happy
something?
New Year.
Thank you. March, April, May. Do I need to go back in the archives and listen to that? I just tuned in. Or was that personal to that last caller?
No, it was personal to the last caller.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Finances again. I got a part-time job, which I was thrilled. A woman with mild Alzheimer's, and I think I'm losing it because she's getting worse. It was a big help. I also spent money on art supplies because our local store is going out of business. So it was a savings, but kind of hurt a bit. Anyway, what do you see ahead of me? Getting more work? Will I end it with this woman? I think the husband's kind of back and forth. What do you see is ahead for me? Thank you, with finances and work, either or.
You're welcome. You need to try to stick with this woman. Alzheimer's is such a challenging thing to work with somebody. And I know that you're right, the husband is kind of going back and forth, but sometimes with Alzheimer's patients, they just need more time. So from my perspective, energetically, if you stay the course and you continue working with her, there will be improvement in this month of February, and then he'll be really happy, and then that will help with your finances also. So I really want to tell you that you need to stick it out with her for now.
it's just up and down, and she has been in a down spate, an energetic challenge. So, you know, as she comes out of that and as you continue to do what you're doing, those two will align and then things will get better. So yeehaw, right? As far as spring goes for you, you know, April is going to be another challenging month for you. So you have to plan ahead. This year is going to be kind of a roller coaster for you, up and down. And all I can tell you is don't count on anything. Be open to everything. That is a direct quote from your guides. So don't count on anything, but be open to everything and allow the miracles to happen. And you'll find that you're going to have kind of this roller coaster, but at the end of the year, you will be in so much of a better place than you were in before that it won't matter. You'll be like, yay. I find it fascinating that, Claudia, I have given readings today, everybody with finances, everybody. Yeah. And, you know, they've all actually had really good outcomes. I haven't really had to give anybody too much bad news. I have given a little bit, but not too much. So that's good. And the same for you, Pat. I wish you a lot of luck. And I'm going to finish up what I have because we're running out of time, but I'm so glad that I got to squeeze you in, honey. Good luck.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, I love feeling the love. All right, so just some quick things for everybody. Mark your calendars, April, August, and December, as these months hold great promise for personal and professional endeavors. Make sure that you focus on your health and well-being this year. Be careful of too much stress, anger, and fear, which may affect liver and gallbladder, which are very linked to the wood element. And this is for dragons, any other dragons out there, but also for everybody in a dragon year. With the fast-paced changes that come in a dragon year, it's natural to feel a bit swamped. So try to stay in balance, include relaxation periodically, practice things like meditation, Tai Chi, and because this is a wood dragon year, definitely go out in the forest, do some forest bathing, right? It can be very effective in calming the quick-tempered nature that comes also in a dragon year and help to calm that feeling of being frayed at the edges because of the fast pace. Exercise is essential to keep wood energy flowing and to help prevent stagnation and digestive problems. Similarly, be cautious of overeating because that could cause problems with digestion. So here, you know, we're looking at liver, gallbladder with wood and digestive with wood and also dragon in general. So just be mindful of that. And when you're thinking of these things, consider including what you eat on an information level, what movies you watch, things you listen to, the emotions you digest. Like, be mindful of what you listen to, watch, and read, okay? All of that has to do with this digestive stuff. Yes, be active and vibrant and lively like the dragon, but move forward with purposeful attention and careful forethought. Also, just kind of as an ad hoc, it can be a high wind year. So be particularly careful in storms or when tornadoes or hurricanes have been forecast. Be very, very careful with these things, okay? Finally, I'm going to leave you guys with something fun. So give me just one more minute of your time, please. This is one of my favorite bumper stickers of all time that I had on my bumper for a long time. It said, "If you don't like how I drive, stay off the sidewalk." Oops, wait, no, that was the wrong one. Actually, I did have that bumper sticker on my car for the longest time. If you don't like how I drive, stay off the sidewalks. But that wasn't the one I was referring to. It was this one instead. Never meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and good with ketchup. All right, my friends. Thanks so much for listening today, joining us for this fun wood dragon yin understanding, and I hope that everybody has an amazing year. Thank you so much, Ms. Claudia, for allowing me to once again serve and for letting me go a little bit over time. I hope everybody's financial situation improves. Thank you so much, Ms. Claudia. Have a great night. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. And remember, the Sati is back next month, which is on March, the first Friday of March. Join us for another Seeking Divinity show, and make sure to consider using Take My Call so you can jump the long list of callers. March 1st would be her show. Yes.
And Ms. Claudia, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to see my painted dragon, come back to my website in mid to late February so you can see him. He's really cute. Thanks so much. Thanks, Claudia.
Yes, remember, seekingdivinity.com. Thank you as well, and everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.